Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So we are towards the end of the decently sized chunk of nothingness and, dread, otherwise known as the mid-season break for the DC TV Arrowverse shows. Now The Flash is back this week, and I think 2 days from when this video will go up. And then we have Arrow as well as Supergirl back next week. Now Arrow will be back on the 21st of January, so that is 1 week and 1 day from when this video goes live, so not too long to wait now. Now we come back to Arrow with episode 10, which was labelled last week as Shattered Lives, but has now gone back to the original title of the episode from like months ago, that being My Name is Emiko Queen. Now it was obvious why it was changed to Shattered Lives from My Name is Emiko Queen because, well, spoilers. But once the cat is out of the bag, in this case that the new Green Arrow is Oliver's half-sister Emiko Queen, then there was no real point trying to hide it all up. And let's be honest, My Name is Emiko Queen is like 97 times better than Shattered Lives. Anyway, even though we should all be hyped for episode 10, aka the mid-season premiere next week, this video will actually be about episode 11 for this season, which is otherwise entitled Past Sins. And a cool little piece of information about this episode is that John Diggle himself, that being David Ramsey, will be directing this episode. On The Flash, we have seen like Tom Cavanagh direct, so it is good to see some of the Arrow cast step from in front of the camera to behind the camera. It wouldn't surprise me if we ever see like Oliver Queen himself, Stephen Amell, get behind the camera at one point, maybe this season. We know that Daniel Panabaker is doing that in The Flash later this season. But kudos to David, I'm sure he will nail it, and I'm sure we will dig it. Okay, I'll leave. But yeah, let's go over the synopsis, but before that, be sure let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we go over in this video and what you think of this episode in general. I'm sure some of you guys will have some strong opinions on certain things, so yeah, let me know all of them in the, or let me see all of them in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're excited for Arrow to be back next week, be sure to drop a like on the video to show support. The past comes back to haunt both Oliver and Laurel. Curtis is upset when he discovers that Diggle and Lila have restarted the Ghost Initiative, with Diaz, might I say, China White, Kane Wolfman, and Carrie Cutter. But yeah, so interesting synopsis there, so let's just, break it down. So we have the first part being, the past comes back to haunt both Oliver and Laurel. Now, this is obviously the more vague part of the synopsis, as this could mean like a handful of different things, not only in regards to what it was in the past that is being referenced, but also where it heads to in the future. Now, there are a few options as to what this could be hinting at. Obviously, I'm not going to get it right, most likely, but if you have any other options, feel free to let me know in the comments section down below, other than the ones I've mentioned. The first and more obvious one, I guess, is that it might have something to do with like Emiko. Episode 10 is going to be a big Emiko episode where we should get some understanding as to what her motives are for this season and maybe who in the past connects to it directly, which could then lead into this episode where revelations from the Emiko story come around and connect to Oliver and Laurel. Now, obviously, this is the Laurel from Earth 2, but Emiko and other people wouldn't know that. So something involving Oliver and Earth 1 Laurel from the past could come back to mess with them in this episode. Another option is that there could be some ties to Earth 2 Laurel's past, where we meet someone from her past who is maybe still familiar to Oliver and us, the audience. We did get a little tease to life on Laurel's Earth and what it was like before coming over to Earth 1, and even before meeting Zoom back on Earth 2. So you would have to think they, could do a bit more with that type of story at some point this season, whether it be in a major way or just in a minor way with some explanations and monologues and stuff like that. Like a lot of exposition, maybe. Maybe, is that even a word? Maybe. Regardless, any fleshing out of the Earth 2 Laurel storyline is good in my opinion. I think the fact that Oliver and Laurel will be just having scenes together on screen will excite a lot of people because they just seem like non-existent, like since like Earth 1 Laurel died, I guess. And the last option that I just, sort of feel like chucking in is that this past that comes back to haunt Oliver and Laurel could be something as simple as like a person from season 5 or 6 that is just back to cause some trouble for them in this episode. Obviously, as you can tell from the synopsis, it's going to be like, two very different things going on in this episode. So it could just be a past episodic villain from a previous season that is coming back and is up for round 2. But speaking of that other storyline for this episode, let's get into that part of the synopsis, which goes as follows. Curtis is upset when he discovers that Diggle and Lila have restarted the Ghost Initiative, with Diaz, China White, Kane Wolfman, and Carrie Cutter. Now, when I read this, I got pretty damn excited, I'm not going to lie, and the reason for that is pretty simple. The Suicide Squad is back, and yes, I know they are calling it the Ghost Initiative, but anyone with like any clue knows that they are really, forced to not use the name of the Suicide Squad for the same reasons they can't use Deathstroke and other characters like that. This is just like Suicide Squad like 1.5, so it works the exact same way. They just won't go by the name of Suicide Squad, and they might not have like bombs in the necks. But it wouldn't surprise me if there is like some other control mechanism that they have, whether it be shocking devices or something like that, because it'd be weird just to let these, villains out and, free reign without some sort of control on them. In regards to the members, the first one sort of gave us a feeling that we could possibly get a type of Suicide Squad back on the show this season, that being Ricardo Diaz, and that was when like Lila and Diggle initially went to meet with him to get some more information. I think that was at the end of episode 8, I think it was. China White and Carrie Cutter, aka It's Cupid Stupid, were last seen in season 5 from memory. It was the same episode from memory, which was the one where they were like having like a final fight in a graveyard or something like that. I might be wrong, but that's the last time I remember seeing those two. Cupid's name was seen on one of the doors towards the end of Flash season 3 in Argus, but we didn't actually get to see her. And with Kane Wolfman, aka Joe Wilson, aka Deathstroke's son, for those that are confused as to why he is there, like how did he get captured, because there are people actually confused with that for some reason, he was captured in the Arrow portion of the crossover this season, so that's how he is now in the hands of Argus. Like Diggle and some Argus agents were after him, Flash and Green Arrow stopped him, and then Diggle took him back to Argus. Now, in my opinion, I think this team is going to be a lot harder to handle than the team that was around in both Season 2 and 3 of Arrow. I mean, in Season 2 and stuff, you had Deadshot and Bronze Tiger back there in the Season 2 team. And then in Season 3, you still had Deadshot, but like Cupid was there like obsessing over Deadshot 90% of the time. So no one really wanted to get up to like too much nonsense apart from that Shrapnel guy, I think that's the villain's name, Shrapnel, who tried to get away and his head went splat. So he was like the example of like the bombs in the necks, basically like Slipknot in the Suicide Squad movie. So due to this, I am actually, incredibly interested to see how this team goes. And for those wondering, this won't be like a one-off thing. All of these characters will be back in episode 14 for this season. They could be in episode 12 and 13 as well, but we know they'll be in episode 14 for this season. And that's because the director for that episode, that being Marcus Stokes, posted a photo of himself and the Ghost Initiative, aka just the Suicide Squad with a name change, on Instagram. And he also posted the little clicky thing that said episode 14. Also, I was told by someone in Vancouver that Amy Gumanek, I think that's how you pronounce it, who plays I'm Cupid Stupid, had landed there a few days ago. I think like the 9th it was. So it does look like this will be a recurring arc for a decent amount of episodes. So it should be a good watch. In regards to what the Suicide Squad is doing in this episode, it's obviously going to be around that Dante stuff. I'm guessing maybe in episode 10 they get a massive lead on where it's going to go. We know there's going to be some Diaz stuff in episode 10, and I'm assuming they're going to get some information, and maybe Diaz will be leading this sort of like Ghost Initiative, aka Suicide Squad 1.5 team. I'm interested to see where the Dante stuff goes, and I'm hoping it does connect to the full-on story for this season. Like everything just connects at some point this season, rather than just having this Diggle and Lila storyline, which is just for them. I hope this Dante stuff actually leads to a bigger picture, and the fact that Ricardo Diaz is being brought into it makes you think it will. But we got to bide our time. We're only in episode 10 next week, and then episode 11 when this episode comes out. So there's like that's basically the halfway point in the season. So there's still a lot of the season to go where everything can connect, and then we basically head straight forward for the season finale. So I'm interested to see where all of it goes. But speaking of later on this season, on April 15th, Arrow will be moving to 9 p.m. So currently, Arrow is an 8 p.m. show, but Arrow will be taking like a 2 or 3 week break towards the beginning of April, and Legends will be coming back around that time. So Legends will be going to 8 p.m. and Arrow will be going to 9 p.m. So in the beginning half of the season, Arrow was at 8 p.m, Legends was at 9. So basically, when Arrow comes back from that like April sort of little break, that would just be swapping with Legends for the time zone. So Legends is the early show, Arrow's a later show, and yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over. Are you looking forward to this Ghost Initiative, or do you think it's going to be a bit of a drag? Personally, I think it sounds super interesting just because this group actually feels like a proper Suicide Squad, while the ones back in season 2 and 3, while cool, I don't felt like they were much of a threat. Like, you could feel that a couple of them were trustworthy, while I feel all 4 members here of Diaz, China White, I'm Cupid Stupid, and Kane Wolfman are such liabilities. They could literally do anything. So I'm just intrigued to see how it all goes. But you know, you might not be, not be the biggest fan of it. So let me know in the comments section down below if you don't like it. And I guess also let me know about that Oliver and Laurel stuff as well. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.